what I want to talk to you about is changing the way that you view, the way we view how to deal with our relievers, right? Or our staff in total, right? So whether you're a coach, for some of you that are academy guys, you're like, well, I don't really need that. But no, you do, because your pitchers are going to become relievers. And if they're just thrown out there in the real world, the way that we use our staff, the way we view our staff is antiquated and needs to change. And I'm going to be kind of talking you through this, and it's all really common sense. So our goal is to keep our relievers healthy, durable, and at their best. Now, as you go through with this on your notebook, you're going to see about 12 or 15 slides, and I'm going to have skipped through that. So don't think that I wanted to leave that in your notebook. A couple of them was Jordan's data on where most common months of Tommy John, and then how often do relievers and starters go. I didn't think I wanted to cover that, but it's in your book as a resource. So in my experience over the last 30 years of coaching, there are 5 ways that we have failed our relief pitchers. So I'm going to go through this. The first 5 questions to me are the really most important. We have failed to fully grasp the critical importance of the steepness of their pre-appearance ramp-up. They're going from absolutely dead quiet, dead still, cold to in a game way too quickly. This is way more dangerous than high workload, in my opinion. The steepness of the ramp up is the danger zone. And so for someone like Carson here, who is a reliever most of your career, and you're down there and they throw you down in the bullpen and they say you may be on today, I want to give you guys some red meat on what to do rather than sit there and play games with how you can spit a sunflower seed into a cup or binoculars, take a look at the pretty blonde in the third row or whatever the most relievers do in the bullpen. But we have failed to grasp the steepness of the ramp up is everything. And especially if you live in Iowa where it's cold, it's even more important, right? We have failed to fully grasp the importance of the vast difference between individual pitchers' ability to get ready both mentally and physically. Some guys are much more able to get ready. Other people are not. Managing almost all of our guys with a single monolithic brush. I'm going to help you with what are we going to do with that? We see the differences in individuals. We fail to assist our pitchers in building for themselves personalized, customized, and malleable routines. The key thing here is malleable. The game of baseball is chaos. What is important today or the situation today isn't the situation tomorrow. Today it's a 2-1 game. Tomorrow it's 11-12, right? The game, it's changed. So you need to be able to have a malleable routine. If you don't have malleable routine, quite often you're going to run into a problem, right? Randy and I and the 2 ranches say that we want to create adaptable athletes, not adapted athletes. An adapted athlete is they're really good in this one sliver. You get them outside the sliver. We all know about the 5 o'clock hitter, right? At 5 o'clock, he is unbelievable. People come from miles around to watch him hit, and then at 7:05, not so much. Which that does not mean he's not a good hitter. That means that he's a really good hitter in this little sliver of rhythm and timing, right? And so this is important. We create malleable. We fail to fully grasp the multifaceted dangers of playing musical chairs with our relievers. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Get hot, you're in. Or this is one of my favorite when I pitched in college. Just stay ready. Stay ready. Really? Okay. Right? How's that going to work? Right? And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And then we fail to fully grasp when individuals feel uncertain, unclear, or confused about their specific roles or their utilization, the profound and considerable damage it can do to the athlete's psyche and therefore constrain or impede his performance. I have this argument a lot of times with head coaches. My players should just be ready, right? Well, let me ask you, if your AD came in and said, you know what, I don't know if you're going to coach tomorrow or not. I'll let you know. You could be fired, maybe not. Maybe you'll be here. You okay with that? Not only no, but hell no. A little certainty, we all need it, right? And the good news is we can create it. You don't have to tell somebody you're going to go in the game. If you're smart enough to build the situation, you can have them be ready in short notice. So let's begin with pointing out the elephant in the room. There are 4 fatally flawed assumptions made by a majority of baseball universe. Number 1, our starter is going deep today. That's a good theory, right? Okay? And then when our starter goes out, then our next guy will be all we need, right? Well, here's the truth. Our starters will struggle at the most inopportune time, right? Just when you need them to go deep, nope, they go short, right? Also, our next guy we bring in not only will fail to stop the bleeding, he will exacerbate it. He will put gasoline on it. Now what do we do? So too often we are left dealing with emotion, not logic. We want to turn everything into logic, right? There's a plan. One of the best pitching jobs that I ever witnessed personally was my wife coaching 10 and 12-year-old pitchers back in the day. I couldn't go to the game. She would manage the game. The head coach would play AAA baseball, and he just turned over the pitching staff to her, and she did a much better job with who was next than he would ever do, right? So it is absolutely possible. A lot of coaches will tell me this, well, you can't plan for every possible scenario. So we begin with the bone basics and hope things will work out. Well, we know hope is not a plan. Here's the truth. A fairly large percent of your wins will have little to do with your game time decision-making ability as a pitching coach, but a small percent of your games, I suggest maybe as much as 10% of your games, will be determined by your ability to fully and productively utilize your staff and their ability to perform. Just think of the Dodgers-Rays. Think about the ability to use the staff. What did they have? Did they have a Mo Rivera? Did either one of those had a Mo Rivera closer? No, they have a staff. This is where we're headed, guys. Understanding your staff and which guy can help in each scenario, right? I tell people all the time, my mother, God rest her soul, could have managed the 9th inning for the Yankees in the late 90s. We're ahead, Mo, go get warmed up. That's easy. That doesn't happen for most of us. We don't have a Mo Rivera that we can just throw out there and he's going to be good every night. We have to figure this out. If you can figure this out, it's a difference. Every high school program can win 2 or 3 games they otherwise would not have won. College, 3 to 6 games you otherwise would have won. Professional, 8 to 16 games you would have otherwise would have won. How many times does that end up being the difference for you getting in the playoffs or not? It's a small thing, but it's really important. Other thing a lot of people talk about is they believe that there are 3 stages of readiness. Completely at rest, loose but not yet hot, and fully hot and ready to go in the game. The truth is, there are multiple levels of readiness, and one can go a long way, and this is one I want you to circle. If there's a couple things that I really want you to get. There are multiple levels of readiness, and one can go a long way toward game ready and yet never need to throw one full pitch in a bullpen. This is the thing that you've got to realize. A lot of people think the only way you get ready to pitch in a game is to actually pitch your pitch on a bullpen on the side. That's the finishing part of that. But so often guys are just sitting in a chair and go from dead cold to throwing. So here's my comment to all of you. If your body is completely hot, how many throws does it take you to be able to be ready to go in a game? Okay, X number. What happens if your body is completely cold? How many throws is it going to take? It's going to take considerably more throws, will it not, for you to be ready to go in a game when your body is cold. If your body is hot, now how many bullets do you waste by having your body hot? And the answer is 0. And I don't know why this is such a difficult fundamental problem for people, but you can actually go a long ways to get ready for a game and never yet have thrown a baseball. Every game is unique, so I don't know what will happen or what I will need, so all my relievers should just be game ready every game. What else do they have to do? Simply be ready. That's your job. This is what I hear all the time, right? This is a tyrant that really doesn't really understand the nuances of the game and how to use a staff. It's what I would call stuck on stupid. Right? And so some of you are like, man, that's kind of harsh. I'm sorry. I'm going to be harsh, right? Because it is stuck on stupid, and we got to change it. And it's not hard to change. You just have to think forward a little bit. No one is best prepared to enter the game by constantly remaining at DEFCON 2 or 3, right? You just can't do that. No one performs best at a culture of uncertainty, doubt, confusion, ambiguity, or equivocation. We do not. There are a lot you can do with relative effective daily communication that gives your pitchers a much better feel on when, where, and how they're most likely going to be utilized. But Coach Woolforth, we've always done it this way. Well, we all know what Albert Einstein said about the definition of insanity, right? So it's time for a change.